And I say, oh, this is interesting. I apply, and I'm interviewed, and then I am taken.
They take you.
I would like to maybe say at this point again that that is the only job I ever applied for in my life.
Yes.
To now.
Yes.
Every other job has been a referral, an invitation.
Or a headhunt.
I had already started back to the mindset of solving problems.
Yes.
And I think that's one lesson that if anyone listening and wants to be a leader, you must become a person who solves problems.
Understands what the problem is and
Get
looks
the
for a
insights
solution.
and find the solution.
Yes. When people look at you and they see where you are, well, they think it's been easy. But now you are telling them, for you to get where you are, at one point, you could only sleep up maybe what, 3 hours?
3 hours.
Maximum? Only 3, maybe 4 hours when you are lucky. And you still have things to worry about.
Absolutely.
You have a family, you know? So success does not come easy.
No, it doesn't.
Ever.
Yes. It doesn't. And it is not in a hurry.
Yes.
It's success is
Step
patient.
by step.
Success is patient. You have to be patient. You have to do things.
And
just believe that if you're doing this good thing consistently, it will eventually pay.
You have to be very intentional.
Very intentional.
About success and where you want to go.
Yes.
And what you want to achieve.
Exactly.
I think that's what I'm hearing from
you. And I keep saying that don't put a lot of value in intensity. Put a lot of value in consistency.
Yes.
Because then that's what builds habits over time.
Yes, habits. Yes.
And that's in every aspect of life. So I did that for some time. And then Avenue Hospital advertised for a job. And as a medical officer for
now,
the patient.
Now, this time you have experience of like how many years?
Maybe about a year and a half or so.
So now you are getting a fruit
of these double jobs, yes.
Yeah.
And Avenue advertises for a job for a medical officer. And I say, oh, this is interesting. I apply, and I'm interviewed, and then I am taken.
They take you.
I would like to maybe say at this point again that that is the only job I ever applied for in my life.
Yes.
To now.
Yes.
Every other job has been a referral, an invitation.
Or a headhunt.
Yes. So I applied, I was called, I was interviewed, I was given the job. And then I started to work at Avenue. Then I dropped now. I remember I did a bit of Aga Khan also with Avenue. Then I dropped Aga Khan, overlapped a bit, then I now focused.
And I'm sure they paid you much more than you got at Mary Stopes.
They paid me more.
Yes.
They paid me more.
Yes.
And then it was a more organized setup.
It was more structured.
And at that point is when my early green shoots of leadership started to come up. Because now when I was there, I was a doctor for the outpatient.
Yes.
Doing shifts, 8 to 2, 2 to 8 p.m. or night.
Yes.
So I was doing my rotation. But then for some reason, back to the conversation around discipline and social justice, I would never feel happy leaving a patient in the queue
waiting
until the other doctor comes in. So even if the doctor was late, I would be there until...
So you would extend your shift.
I would extend until we clear
to wait for the next one to come.
Wait. And then even if there are too many patients, help them.
Wow.
And even if there are many patients, I would help them to clear. So of course, I'm doing this not for any purpose. I'm not doing this to get promoted. I'm not doing this to get more money. I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do.
You didn't get paid overtime for that?
No.
So why would you do it? Just explain.
Because for me, I've always been focused on the solution.
Yes.
And I'm like, these patients are here, they need to be assisted.
Yes.
So it's not about my time on my contract. It's about the fact that there are patients that need to go home, and they have been waiting here for long.
Yes.
So for me, I solved that problem. And that's always been me, and even now.
And I think what you are reminding us is also that leadership calls for empathy.
Exactly.
For you to really understand who you are dealing with on the other side. And what do they want? What do they need? What support can I give them? That's how you build your leadership.
That's how you build your
That's
leadership.
what I'm hearing from you right now.
Absolutely. And when you respond to a problem to solve it, you always find that the people appreciate.
Yes.
In fact, somebody made me the other day because later on we talk about the COVID work I did, and somebody asked, "How much money were you paid for COVID?" I said 0.
Nothing.
All my appearances on TV.
Then why did you do it?
It was just I was solving a problem. I was trying to help people to move forward. So that spirit of you solve the problem, you will actually always get a benefit at some point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even that time I was saying on. So later on, the management came and said, do you want to be the outpatient manager? So why? Because they had noted
they have seen the initiative.
My interest in solving problems for the outpatient.
It's a clear demonstration, I think, because we always say that focus on your passion.
Absolutely.
And your purpose.
Yeah.
The money will come.
It
will follow naturally.
People want problem solvers.
But sometimes we want to ask, how much are you paying me?
Exactly.
You put the cart before the horse.
That's the easiest way to kill a career.
That's what we do.
Yes.
And we kill our careers.
That's how,
we kill our ambitions.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because you're saying, you want me to do this? Tell me how much more you'll pay me. No.
Yes.
And I'll give another example. When I was in GSK with, and Githinji Gitahi was my boss, I had a similar experience where you're just given more and more. If you just do it.
You do.
The money will come later.
Yeah,
the pay will come later in whatever form.
So the management realizes this young man, it's energetic, he's hungry, to grow his, career.
Yeah.
Let's give him more responsibility.
Let's give him more responsibilities. I became the patient manager.
Yeah.
And that's how I started my leadership journey. Because now I started managing the patient, then we went on. I became medical marketing manager in the hospital until now I left to go to my next job.
Yes.
Which was several years with Avenue.
How long did you stay in Avenue?
In Avenue, I stayed 3.5 years or so.
But there's also something else that you introduced when you were there.
Yeah.
The one you're managing the health insurance.
Yes.
On behalf of your clients.
Correct.
Talk to us about that innovation.
So
because it looks like it was the first time it was tested in Kenya, right?
At that point, I was working with a gentleman called Amit Saka, who was a senior in the medical profession by about a year or so, and also a very innovative gentleman. So he's the one actually who had hired me now as a medical officer. And we started working together. At this point, he was testing a model saying, instead of just sitting here and waiting for patients to be treated, why don't we actually go out to companies and offer a solution for health for their workers? Okay? And when we offer that solution, we say, instead of you every time somebody is sick, you have to say how much money will they charge, we are going to give you a fixed capitation.
A package, sort of.
Yeah. And we'll say, if you are, this bank or this supermarket, you have 1,000 staff, pay us 1,000 shillings per staff, and then we will take care of their health needs.
The whole year round.
The whole year round. And even if we exceed what you've paid us, it's our risk. If we save, it's our benefit, which is the capitation model. Yes. So we started to do that, which meant it was in our interest for those people to be healthy.
Yes.
You see, right now people complain that doctors want them to come and see them over and over because every time you go, you pay.
You pay more.
So when they say come back, they're like, they want me to see me more, so that I pay more. But that time, it was in our benefit for people to stay away,
healthy,
not to come.
Not to come.
Exactly.
Or even if they come, it's for minor
things and minor ailments.
Yes.
So it became our motivation, back to motivation, to ensure they're healthy. So my role was to ensure that all the companies that are signed up with us were assigned a doctor within our group to be visiting them, to know whether the staff are healthy, to give them talks
to them
on mental health,
wellness.
Give them talks on wellness, on feeding, so that they stay healthy where they are. And that model really did wonders. Because then you would find, for example, this particular company, there's this family. Because also, when you have a hospital, sometimes families come together. You come, this person who is in this member comes with their wife and their children, and you find every Sunday they're here.
Yes.
You're like, this is costing us a lot, but most importantly, what is going on? So you now start to follow up, you maybe go to your place of work to understand the dynamics, of course within confidentiality.
Yes.
And you always find there's something triggering their visits, and once you solve that, they would stay.
Maybe they are drinking the wrong kind of water, which is not hygienic, or they have hygiene factors.
Absolutely. And
for me, then you try to solve that problem,
to solve it.
The root cause.
For me, that remains, the best model of healthcare.
Wow.
And even if we were to do it as a country, where you actually, and that's what you find in Cuba. That's why Kenya was so, excited about Cuba.
Yeah.
It's about keeping people healthy because diseases are expensive to treat.
You reduce the cost.
Exactly.
And the time taken to go to see a doctor.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So that model we started there.
Amazing.
And then it grew and became a bit more popular across the country and elsewhere.
How many companies did you have by the time you left?
At some point we had 21.
Wow.
We had hotels, casinos, supermarkets, malls had started to be built then. I remember Village Market had just come up. Village Market was in our list of clients. So we had a lot of them. Yes. And then each of us were a clinical manager for each of those companies. And I managed that as medical quality manager until I left for my next job.
So I'm already seeing a doctor who is not just content with wearing the white coat and the, what do you call it, the stethoscope.
The stethoscope, yes.
And sitting behind a desk in the consultation room to someone who really wants to go out there and understand the problems that these patients are facing. So tell us how it went after that. You finally changed jobs. You think you went to insurance?
I went to insurance. So what happened is within the Avenue setup, I had already started back to the mindset of solving problems.
Yes.
And I think that's one lesson that if anyone listening and wants to be a leader, you must become a person who solves problems.
Understands what the problem is and looks for a solution.
And find the solution.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
So what and that's what we're doing with this, the work we're doing around. At the same time in Avenue, I realized that there was a problem with women who are coming to see us in the clinic who are pregnant. And the women would come and they expect to have a normal delivery. So they come to the clinic, then the last day, they are told, hey, you have a complication, you have to go for cesarean section. And now there's a problem because they hadn't planned a budget for that.
Yeah, that expense.
And how I realized that is because when I left medical school, I had a big interest in becoming a gynecologist. I'd wanted to become a gynecologist. To specialize. But of course, circumstances in my life, I'm married, I have a child and all those.
You couldn't go back to school.
Yeah, because now I have to leave the job and pay for myself the school fees.
Yes, yes.
So I stayed on. But now in Avenue, I started to run an antenatal clinic because of my passion. And I said every Wednesday, I have a clinic.
Yes.
And now I was a patient manager, but that became now my passion. And I would see up to 40, 50 women on Wednesday in one day.
40 to 50 in one day?
Yeah, they would queue there. It became so popular. So popular. And when I realized this problem, I said, how can we solve it? So I came up with something we're calling the ABC. And we're saying it is antenatal, birth, and cesarean combined. So we calculated how much you needed to pay, and you could pay from the day you come to your first clinic, pay a certain amount of money. We divided the total fee to 9 months. So you paid like a premium every month.
Every month you're paying.
Every month you paid.
Little by little.
Little by little. And that money, if you have normal delivery, that takes care of you. If you have cesarean, that money takes care of you.
It's covered.
Like almost like an insurance.
Wow.
So when you went to, even if you're complicated, you're not worried.
Wow.
So I called it the ABC package. So that one I introduced.
No,
so,
it's not like insurance, because insurance will tell you this package, small one, covers only this.
Exactly.
And this. If you want a higher cover, then you have to pay more.
Yes.
Now you're telling me you'd say it's 10,000 or whatever the amount was.
Yes.
And it will cover you for antenatal, birth.
Everything.
If it's cesarean, unfortunately, it's still covered.
It is still covered.
Amazing.
What it did is that for those who ended up with a normal delivery, the total premium they had paid over 9 months was more than would have cost them.
Yes.
But they had the peace of mind.
And you're thinking, wow, I don't know what will actually happen.
I don't know.
Yeah,
so when you paid more than you would have paid for normal, then you're actually satisfied because we took away
your peace of mind also.
Fair. Exactly. Yeah. For those who ended up cesarean, they ended up getting a benefit, they paid less.
Because now it would have been more expensive.
Exactly. Yes. But that also meant that it was in our interests to ensure mothers delivered normally. So we actually took care. We started Lamar's classes to make sure the mothers are trained to deliver normally. So it became the motivation to introduce Lamar. So if you're in the ABC, you're also a member of the Lamar's class. So that's how motivation and incentives work in healthcare.
So it becomes a win-win for the hospital and for the patient, the mothers and their families.
Absolutely.
Wow.